And now TSPN presents Open Mic Friday with Mike Spence and Butter.
Welcome to Open Mic Friday. I'm Mike Spence, and I'm here today with a special guest who really went out of her way to represent the city of Ione, Andrea Bonham. Thanks so much, Andrea, for coming. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. And yes, I guess I'm the first to bring all this stuff.
I've never had, I had an AR-15 or one of those big machine guns for the gun show on the news desk, but I haven't had anything really of any importance. And you have been out there for many years in Ione.
Yes.
And you were at Clark's Corner for many years. People know you as the face of Ione, I think, through a lot of different organizations as well. And you have recently shifted over to a group that you founded called the Pride of Ione.
Yeah, so actually when Clark started, our original vision was to have this community hub and a lot of the history, and we put the pictures on the tables, but then it morphed into a cafe and it became this much bigger project than we imagined. So as of January 16th, I was actually full-time now on the Pride of Ione. So it's still connected with Craig Clark, and it's just now getting back to our original vision. So since January, that's what I've been doing and having a ball.
And it's kind of integrated with all of the different, with Preston Castle and the different things in Ione. It's not just to promote the Pride of Ione, but you're going to be working with all of the different groups as well and helping them promote themselves and Ione in general.
Yeah, so my thought for it was, I loved growing up in Ione. I had a fabulous childhood. I loved my community. I loved all the people I grew up with. It was just a very close, tight-knit community. And so the reason we chose the name Pride of Ione, because it's everything that Ione is proud of. It could be the castle, it could be history, it could even be new things like beautification projects or welcome baskets for the newcomers. Anything that makes you proud. See, I get the chills talking about it. Yeah.
Oh, we have a welcome basket here on the desk. We're going to show close-up of that when we get a chance, but you've done a lot of different things, and you were kind enough to bring some old, what a nut I am about the old photos, and you brought all these old photos for me to look through, which was very nice of you. This was the original City Hall. I don't know if we can even get a shot of that.
Yeah, it used to be a hotel, and now it's one story.
Yeah, when you see the buildings and some of the old photos, I mean, it's amazing. Ione just grows on you. I've spent a lot of time out there. We did a special thing. We aired it today out of Preston Castle, obviously. But I did a visit Amador out to Clark's Corner, and Jessica out there. Yep. She fixed us lunch, and then we went out to Tanis Winery, and Andrew was just incredible. But, just spending time out. I love open space and just being surrounded by the rural.
Yeah.
The pastoral setting out there. I mean, you just capture it when you're out in Ione. You really feel it out there. Yeah, and a lot of, I live up country, and you get into the woods and you kind of feel the forest. When you get out to Ione, you want to be in the saddle and kind of open, enjoy that open space.
Well, and that's what I love about Amador County is in such a small county, we have such difference because I love, going up and, seeing the pine trees. We go up and ride in Shenandoah, and it's I feel like I'm in the mountains.
1 minute you're in one spot and you just get out. I love going out to Ione. We have this is a great file. I have to show this. This was actually, we talked about the Amador County Museum last week. And Dave Brubeck grew up in Ione, a famous celebrity. He was a jazz musician for people who don't know. But that's that skinny little Dave Brubeck right there in the middle. And there's a little display in the Amador County Museum, which is going to be reopening in another month and a half.
I was excited. I just talked to Georgia. I thought that was great.
Yeah. It is great.
I always think history is so important. And I love the history that is kind of the personal stories, the memories that aren't the big, exciting things, but just all the little things.
Oh, yeah, just to pick up on the small details.
Yeah, I love that.
One of those small details, well, I will say Dave Brubeck was an interesting story because he actually did a music video out at the Preston Castle. And I mean, he came back. He was one of those celebrities who actually came back to Ione and did some things.
Well, and he's lifelong friends and always been friends with Etta Scully, and we actually just interviewed Etta Scully for our homecoming video that we're doing. And so, she was a great resource for us to get word back and forth to him and permission to use, pictures on tables and things like that. Because she was a lifelong friend because he went to school with her husband.
You don't have a lot of them coming back. They all go off and become famous, but they don't always come back. So it's nice, especially at Ione, since it's so rural. But just so I don't forget, there is a little display in the Amador County Museum, and I got a chance to take a little sneak peek with the camera the other day. It's not going to open for a month and a half, but
Oh, you got to go in early.
I did, and I took the
Nice.
camera in. Tom and I we did some shooting, and I saw a display of an old baseball player who played for the Yankees by the name of Ernie Bonham.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that he's related to the Bonham family.
Yes, he is my dad's uncle.
Your dad's uncle.
So my great uncle.
Your great
And he
uncle.
was the baby of the family.
Pitched for the Yankees?
Pitched for the Yankees,
Wow.
was in World Series.
That's impressive.
And his nickname was Tiny. All the Bonhams were very tall, kind of big people, and so that was his nickname, Tiny, because he was so big.
Irony.
Yeah, and it's funny when you read the interviews with him, it sounds like you're talking to my father or any of the other ones. You know, he's very funny in his kind of charming, rough way.
Well, what a great history to be on display
Yeah.
for the county to see, and for
Yeah.
not only visitors, but for locals like myself to see. I enjoy all the history.
Well, and his daughter is living in Sacramento because they lived in Sacramento. He actually moved to Sacramento, and she has memorabilia that we went and scanned over 100 pictures and things of him.
Oh, my
Because one of the documentaries we want to do is on Ernie Bonham, and so she has great stories. She can remember traveling on train back and forth. Because back in the day, you know, you didn't make the money you do now.
Right, right.
So it was a whole different lifestyle. But yeah, she still has memories of being a little kid and traveling back and forth.
I didn't mean to sidetrack you because I want to make sure that the viewers caught the part about your videotaping and really capturing a lot of the interviews from the locals, because if a lot of that history is lost, you know. If you don't go out, somebody's, you know, we've always talked about doing it. Somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
And you're actually out there doing a lot of those interviews now. And
We jumped right into it. So
Good.
one of the things with the Pride of Ione that we wanted to do, it's project-based as opposed to meetings. So for homecoming, we're launching the Pride of Ione. So we decided we would have to have something to show people. So we decided to do a video on homecoming. So we went around and just gathered everybody's memories of homecoming. And so it's about 20 minutes, that's going to be about 25 minutes long. And we did Etta Scully, Alice Dufresne, Val Kreth,
That's
my
great.
parents, Andy and Terry Bonham, who are the Grand Marshals this year.
Yes, they are.
Pat and Janice Patterson, and just tried to get, and then we got little kids and just different ages, trying to just, what does homecoming mean to them and their stories. And it has been a wonder. I said, I'm so lucky that every day when, you know, I go to edit, I spend my day looking at Mr. Gebhardt and Etta Scully, and, you know, all these wonderful
Yeah,
people
what a
that,
great
you
way to
know, I
spend
grew
time,
up
yeah.
with, and it's like, that is a wonderful day.
a valuable investment of your time
Yeah.
and your efforts, and coming from a media background and being able to do that in a, you know, modern technological way, and I'm sure that's going to be great to have.
Well, it's nice I have my husband who did television graphic for years. So that's huge for me. So I just
Right,
tell him, here's what I need, and they show up. It's kind of
I
like
know
magic.
you guys have that background. It's going to make a big difference. We're going to end up talking more about the homecoming
Okay, great.
on the second half of the show, but I wanted to show these great T-shirts, these
Yeah, we
Pride
have
of,
tees
Pride
and
of
tanks.
Ione T-shirts, and a lot of the Ione stuff, and of course the burlap bags. And, but we're going to have Butter come out on the butter break. We got a wild animal for you. We'll spin the wheel for a prize, and we're going to talk a lot more about Pride of Ione and the Ione Homecoming Parade
Great.
and festivities, and we'll get everybody to stay tuned and come on back.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.